Let's talk about something we've all felt. You do everything right. You sleep for 8 hours, you skip the late-night coffee, you go to bed on time, and you still wake up feeling like you've been hit by a truck. Well, today, we're diving into 5 Japanese-inspired habits that are all about transforming that kind of rest into deep, powerful recovery.
Yeah, that feeling is just the worst, right? You open your eyes and your brain is just stuck in a fog. You have to literally drag yourself out of bed and you're wondering, why am I still so exhausted? It turns out the answer probably isn't about getting more sleep.
Now picture this. In Japan, someone can get the exact same number of hours of sleep as you, but wake up feeling completely different. We're talking calm, focused, and actually full of energy. So what's the secret? Well, it's because they approach sleep in a way that most of us have completely overlooked.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll bust the whole 8-hour sleep myth and explore Japan's unique philosophy on rest. Then, we'll get into the really cool, practical stuff, the secrets of temperature, rhythm, and mindset. Of course, we have to talk about unplugging. And finally, we'll figure out the one easy step you can take tonight.
All right, first things first, let's tackle this big idea that getting more sleep is always the answer. Because the culture we live in has a pretty weird relationship with rest.
We've all heard some version of this, haven't we? This hustle culture mindset, where being exhausted is treated like a badge of honor. It makes us think that sleep is just wasted time. And that's exactly why the whole 8-hour rule fails so many of us. We get obsessed with the quantity of hours we're losing instead of focusing on the quality of the rest we're actually getting.
So if hustle culture is getting it all wrong, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to Japan's philosophy of rest. And it's all about one thing: quality over quantity. They don't see sleep as laziness. They see it as a discipline.
And that shift in thinking, it changes everything. While so many of us are just trying to survive the night, the Japanese approach is about turning every hour of rest into powerful, meaningful recovery. It's about actually recharging your entire system, not just closing your eyes and hoping for the best.
Okay, let's get into our first set of secrets. And you're gonna love this, because they both revolve around something really simple: temperature. This is where we get into some really practical, science-backed habits you can use right away.
Habit number 1 is super simple. Cool down your cave. Seriously, in Japan, sleeping in a warm, stuffy room is a big no-no. The sweet spot is right around 15 to 18 degrees Celsius, or 60 to 65 Fahrenheit. And this isn't random. It taps into an ancient instinct. Our bodies are just hardwired to sleep better and deeper in cooler environments.
And here's the quick science on why that works. Your brain literally has to cool down a bit to get into deep sleep, so when your body temperature drops, it sends a signal to your brain to release melatonin, the sleep hormone. Then your heart rate slows, your muscles relax, and that's when the real, restorative sleep can finally begin. And that brings us to habit number 2, the famous Japanese ofuro, or the hot bath ritual. It all starts with soaking in warm water. Now, this isn't just about getting clean. It's about clearing your mind, relaxing every muscle, and basically hitting the reset button on your entire day. But here's where the magic really happens. It's what happens next. When you step out of that cozy, hot bath and into your nice, cool bedroom, your body temperature drops, and it drops fast. You see what's happening? You're working with your biology, not fighting against it. That sudden cooldown is one of the most powerful, natural signals you can send your brain that it's time to shut down. It's like a gentle invitation to rest, not a command. You'll find you fall asleep faster, and the rest you get feels way deeper. All right, we've talked temperature. Now let's shift gears and talk about our next 2 habits, because these are all about your daily rhythm and, more importantly, your mindset about being tired. This is such a fascinating cultural difference. Here, if someone tells you, "Wow, you look tired," it feels like an insult, right? A sign of weakness. But in Japan, it's often meant as a compliment. It's seen as a sign that you've been working hard and giving it your all. Tiredness isn't a failure. It's just a signal from your body that needs to be respected. And that respect for the body's signals leads directly to habit number 4, the amazing concept of inamuri. You might actually see someone in a Japanese office taking a quick nap right at their desk. And nobody thinks it's lazy. It's a respected practice that shows, hey, this person worked hard, and now they need a moment to recover.
And they're smart about it, too. We're not talking about some long 2-hour siesta that leaves you feeling groggy. These naps are short, just 10 to 20 minutes. That's the perfect amount of time to give your brain a little boost of energy and focus without messing up your nighttime sleep. It's like a quick reset button for your mind.
Okay, and for our final habit, we've got to tackle the biggest sleep disruptor in the modern world: our screens. This is all about turning your tech off so you can finally turn your mind on to the idea of rest.
I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Most of us use our beds as a second office or an entertainment center. But all that blue light from our phones is just flooding our brains, blocking melatonin production, and basically tricking our bodies into thinking it's still the middle of the afternoon. You're trying to wind down, but your mind is still running a marathon.
So, the goal here is to create a little buffer zone, an environment where your mind can just naturally relax. The Japanese bedtime routine is all about finding peace, so try a tech-free hour before bed. Read a real book, do some light stretching, or just sit in silence. Give your mind a chance to land softly, like a plane coming in for a gentle landing.
So, we've covered 5 really powerful habits. But look, you don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's not the point. The real key here is to just start with one small change. Tonight.
So I've got to ask you, which one of these really speaks to you? Are you going to try lowering the temperature in your room? Or maybe taking that warm bath? Or maybe the big one, putting your phone away an hour before bed? Just pick one, and then just notice how you feel tomorrow morning. Maybe a little calmer, a little more rested, a little more alive.
And I want to leave you with this one last thought. Think about it. Your phone can plug in and recharge to 100% overnight, no problem. But you can't get that same deep, full recharge unless you unplug